Even our schools reflect the divisiveness that has flared in America's public square this year. They're witnessing no less than an epidemic of bullying.
Today's cyberbullying, verbal and even physical harassment, turning school for many kids into a place of terror.
We've come to understand the serious, lifelong, long-term consequences of bullying behavior when it's not addressed.
I think the internet has played a role in bullying in the sense that it's allowed kids to much more effectively share their kinds of demonizations of a certain kid.
Gay and lesbian students are particular targets. 9 out of 10 say they have been harassed at school.
The vast majority of them never bother to report it because they don't expect that action will be taken.
Pushed to the breaking point, some take matters into their own hands with tragic results. One was Carl Walker Hoover, a 6th grader, who after months of harassment by schoolmates, hanged himself.
They were saying that he was gay and he acted like a girl, things along those lines.
Carl was only 11 years old.
Bullying is a national health crisis that's facing our schools. When I first brought this bullying to the school, they should have had an action plan. Specifically, how they were going to protect Carl and how they were going to talk to the children that were bullying Carl. A right to go to school in a safe environment. Carl was definitely robbed of that opportunity.
We must ensure that we protect those youth most victimized by bullying.
Sabina Walker has used her son's tragedy to advocate for new school safety guidelines.
We have to reach all of our children. The only way we can do that is to advocate for federal legislation in our schools.
While legislation is pending, schools are on their own. And across the nation, many have turned to this couple, Yvonne and Rich Dutra-St.John.
It's not the end.
It's crazy what our kids are dealing with these days. Racism, sexism, homophobia, bullying, cyberbullying is something they face all the time.
For 23 years, Rich and Yvonne, founders of a program called Challenge Day, have been helping teens change the divided, often hostile world that so many of them face.
Our goal with Challenge Day was to create an intervention that would demonstrate what's actually available to every one of us all the time.
Can just an afternoon of intervention be a transforming moment to help end hate, separation, prejudice, and bullying? We brought a Challenge Day program to El Molino High School in Sonoma County, California. The school faces many of the issues that divide the nation and plague schools today.
There's some bullying at my school.
I've personally been bullied a lot just over the years.
People just using derogatory terms like they're nothing.
Sometimes kids will make jokes about me because I'm Asian.
I've been called a faggot.
El Molino also has a significant Latino population that has been the source of some tension on campus.
There's certain people who push you and they're like, oh, you're illegal or you're this.
People tend to think of us as people that join gangs. People just that like to party, like to create a lot of mischief.
There's no need for our kids to go through the teasing and the hurting and the humiliation that kids go through every single day. So Challenge Day is an opportunity to have them wake up and see that there can be a whole nother way.
Good morning! Give yourselves a round of applause. That's the way we do it at Challenge Day.
Challenge Day begins with games to loosen up the kids.
As little kids, we all played with each other. We're open. We didn't go, what kind of bank book do you have? What color skin do you have? And then we learn how to separate.
So basically a Challenge Day. It's this roller coaster of play, be goofy, have fun, remember what it's like to be a little kid, and then go ahead, get real. Tell us what it's really like to be you.
What you're going to be doing is completing the sentence over and over again for 2 minutes. If you really knew me, you'd know this about me. Go ahead.
If you really knew me.
If you really knew me.
If you really knew me.
If you really knew me, you'd know that I don't live with my family right now. If you really knew me, every morning when I get up, I step on the scale and I see what my weight is. If you really knew me, you would know that I never fit in at schools.
All we do is basically give them permission to feel, to really just get real.
What they share with each other gives them permission to go, okay, I'm not alone.
Love this person up. Let them know that you're right there. You are right there with them. They are not alone.
Rich and Yvonne got the idea for Challenge Day when they were working with drug-addicted and troubled teenagers. Their Challenge Day work has since reached hundreds of thousands of teenagers and adults in 39 states.
What we realized was the work we had been doing was dealing with the symptoms of the problem. The biggest problems are separation, isolation, and loneliness, which of course is insane because our schools are crowded.
The key component of Challenge Day is an activity called Crossing the Line.
I have a whole list of groups and categories. If a group or a category I call out applies to you, cross over the line like Rich and a few people are demonstrating here.
The experience itself is done without words, but what the students share about themselves and see in each other, that speaks volumes.
If they cross over the line, you can send love to the people who crossed. If you crossed, you just received the love. Please cross the line if you've ever been teased, hurt, or humiliated by someone who is in this room. Look in people's eyes, maybe even look in the eyes of someone who may have put you down or hurt you.
What happens for all of us is we gain compassion. It isn't them and us. We are all standing at one time or another with each other.
And please cross the line. If you've ever felt hurt or judged because of the color of your skin or for the language that you spoke. Please cross the line if you've ever been teased or hurt because someone thought you were skinny or too small. If you've ever felt abandoned or rejected by somebody you love, felt alone or afraid. Ever been part of a divorce. If you've ever seriously considered or attempted suicide, or if anyone close to you has ever considered or attempted suicide.
Through the storm, whatever weather, cold or warm, just letting you know that you're not alone. Holla if you feel like you've been down the same road.
Anytime we do Challenge Day, it's all about, we're going to show you beyond a shadow of a doubt that bullying and teasing and all of that hurts people, that nobody likes it, that everybody crosses the line at one time or another. So why would we hurt each other because of our differences?
At first, it's a little awkward because you see all these people looking at you, but then you see all the people around you and you feel proud to be what you are.
When everyone stepped across that line, we all realized that we're not alone.
You get to see other people and how they are and who they really are and what happens to them in their life.
After the experience of crossing the line, students share some very powerful transformations.
Whether you mean it or you're joking about it or not, it still hurts.
Something I never want to hear again is "that's so gay." It hurts so many people, and it's not something that should be with this community.
I've seen Latino groups mix up more with the Americans right now. I've seen the Americans mix in with the Latinos, so I've been seeing a lot of difference now. It's because of this Challenge Day.
Words and actions can hurt. That's the key to stopping the bullies.
I especially love when young people have the courage to go up and say, I'm sorry.
I said some derogatory things to you and Matt. I never really officially said sorry to you, so I just want to say sorry.
I'm sorry for all the hurt that I've caused, and I love you.
I know we had our differences. We've exchanged words of hate before, and I apologize for everything. Beautiful.
There's one way and one way only that we need you to think is to not forget this day. To take it with you everywhere you go and be the change every single day because you are the heroes you've been waiting for.
So what I take is a lot more tolerance towards other people.
We actually learned a lot, and we're going to take all this back to our school and make a change.
They're role models for all of us. I think if we all could be as courageous as the young people were today, our whole world would be a different place.
What kind of world do you want? Thinking anything?
I mean, I'm tired of the conversation about division. I'm tired of the conversation about, I don't trust you. I want the conversation about, how can we work together?
We have seen what happens when the strong step forward and remind us all that our diversity gives us strength.
Everybody understands what it feels like to have some quality about themselves that makes them different from the group.
We're not that far apart in what we desire as humans. We're not that complicated.
It's not even so much about the dangers that happen because of intolerance, but it's also the things that we're missing out on because we're not a more tolerant society, because we're not a more accepting society.
Once again, I am reassured by the power of courage, civility, and fundamental fairness to heal what divides us, to confront injustice, and constantly pursue the ideal of, out of many, one.